I'd like to call this meeting to order, November 28th, 2022, Workforce Readiness and Livable Communities Council and Committee meeting to order. Members of the public may attend the meeting virtually through Cisco WebEx event or view the meeting recording by visiting www.tempe.gov/WRLC for more information. It's important to understand that there's no formal votes to be votes or decisions that about the city programs, policies, or budgets will happen here. Our role is to explore various topics with staff and stakeholders and community members to make recommendations to our council colleagues. We want this process to be transparent, inclusive, and easy for you to be a part of, whatever you choose to be. And you can share your thoughts with us by filling out a comment card about the item on our meeting agenda or by reaching out to us directly with any of our thoughts, questions, or ideals. We need you to fill out a comment card in advance that it can be read into the record for any agendized items. The link to the comment cards can be found on our committee website at www.tempe.gov.WRLC. And you will also find the contact information for committee members and staff there for non-agendized questions as well. We now need to review the October 24th, 2022 minutes.
I move to approve the October 2022 meeting minutes.
I second that motion. The October 24th, 2022 committee minutes are approved. Our third thing is we now move to public comments. The Workforce Readiness and Livable Communities Committee welcomes the public comment. According to the Arizona open meeting laws of the committee may also discuss matters that are listed on the agenda. Matters brought by the public under the public appearances that are not listed on the agenda cannot be discussed by the committee. And a 3-minute limit per person is in effect. Council aides, Annie, and did we receive any comments?
We did not, Councilmember Hodge.
Thank you so much. And I apologize. I can barely read because I can't see it. So I apologize.
Jason, sorry to interrupt. How do we record on the new WebEx?
I don't know.
We just realized we weren't recording and we're trying to start it.
I think Eddie's recording. Let me double check that.
If Eddie's recording, that'd be great. And sorry about the interruption. Just want to make sure we're doing this by the book.
I can't see anyway. That's why.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, we're good.
We're good actually now.
Okay, well, he's recording, so we have the whole thing, and I can send it to you or upload it or do whatever.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you so much. Next, I would like to move to our current items and updates. Today, we have 2 presentations. Our first presentation is from Jessica, all right, who's here, the director of our Tempe Public Libraries, on how the library promotes education, youth, and services, and promotes workforce development here in our city. Jessica, welcome to the meeting.
Thank you, Councilmember Hodge. And hello to council members and committee and Jason. Thank you so much for letting me come in to highlight some of the library's programs and services that support education, youth development, and workforce readiness for the Tempe community. So as the council member mentioned, I am Jess Jupiters, and I am the Deputy Director of Community Services leading Tempe Public Library, aka Library Director. And you already know about a lot of the materials that the library has to offer, the books, the CDs, the DVDs, the seeds, all that kind of stuff. But here are some highlights, and let me emphasize these are just highlights of what else we offer to support specifically what this committee is interested in. So we'll get started here with the education. I'm highlighting 3 of our in-person services and 1 virtual service supporting youth education, our Storytime, Page Turners, Code Club, and BrainFuse. So Storytime. We have 4 story times a week, which is a crucial first step for those early learning skills, getting kids familiar with books, with reading, with the pleasure and enjoyment, and with spending time with each other. As you can see in this photo from our recent Halloween story time, our story times are packed. We had 150 people attending this one. And so this is where the talk, sing, read, write, play elements outlined by the Every Child Ready to Read can be learned by the children and their parents, which is a really crucial element as well, making sure that you get the parents involved in the child's early education. And librarians share stories, engage the children with illustrations, and beginning print awareness, songs, movements, lots of getting up and moving around because little bodies are very wiggly, letters, felt board activities, and more. The story times all end with chance for everyone to socialize and play with the toys that we have. And each story time, as you can see on this slide, is geared for different ages. And we have an evening story time for caregivers who may work a 9-to-5 job and are unable to come in during the day, or who like a little bit quieter and less overwhelming. That's getting ready for bedtime, so it's kind of a chill story time, as it were. And then our next one, we've got Page Turners. So this is a program in partnership with the Barrett Honors College that ASU started back in 2014 and pairs elementary students with college-age tutors to meet weekly and develop their reading comprehension and fluency skills. So we currently have 14 pairs, and it makes a really amazing connection because not only do the kids get these skills, they get kind of a role model. They get somebody to look up to. And I don't remember, if you remember being a kid, college students were so cool. So having the opportunity for them to connect like that is really valuable and is a great supplement for what Experience Corps is offering in partnership with the local schools. Our next one is Code Club. So Code Club is a library-run coding program meeting weekly to explore a variety of different computer programming languages and logic while creating simple computer games, apps, and websites. No coding experience is required, and beginners are welcome. And we have a bunch of ways that the kids can engage with these, like simple logic games, using the computer, and of course, robots. We do have one of these Sphero bolts, and unfortunately, our youth services manager has played soccer her entire life. So when this comes zipping past the desk, it is always in danger of being kicked across the entire library and smashed to bits. But on a Thursday afternoon, you can see this robot running all over the lower level of the library, which is really exciting because it's been programmed to run this maze. And then my final highlight in the education section is BrainFuse. BrainFuse is a service paid for by the Friends of the Tempe Public Library, and anyone with a library card has access to the services available. And so you can see from the image here, you can select a grade level and a topic and are connected immediately with a live tutor. Online, from your house, live tutoring. So grade levels go kindergarten through college, and the service includes FAFSA support, which I know is a big issue as you're looking to getting into college, making sure that you can afford to go. So we already have that through College Connection, but if you need help at home at 9 p.m., BrainFuse has got you. They also have reading labs, writing labs. You can upload documents and get feedback on a paper within a business day, and then have things like practice tests for the ACT or the GED or flashcards on a huge variety of subjects. And then on to youth development. So in this section, I focus more on our kind of teen-tween users with the after-school programming that we offer that's either youth-led or is co-created with the staff in the space. So first one, our Mind Body Mondays. These are our health and physical wellness programs that focus using mindfulness and compassion-focused approach to support teens as their bodies and brains are kind of developing incredibly rapidly. Hormones are a son of a gun, so making sure that they have the support that they need, using gentle movements and breathing exercises, strategies to manage stress and anxiety means that they can be more comfortable self-regulating or de-escalating when situations are really intense. And then Create Thursdays are our teen-led pop-up maker spaces where teens can use one or more of our STEAM kits in the library, like button making, robotics. We have a sewing machine, cameras, circuitry, screen printing. There's all sorts of things. And so teens can either work on their own, they can work in a group, or they can offer peer instruction. And that leadership opportunity is something I'm going to talk about a little bit later. Next to that, we have Game On. This is a pretty standard offering in most libraries. A lot of libraries have video gaming programs, and they're fun, but they're also a way to safely take risks. They practice cooperative learning. They build teamwork and decision-making and strategic thinking based on the game. Seems like a lot from a video game, but it's true. It's also the chance for the youth to be the expert. Often, kids get a lot of instruction from adults all day, every day, from their parents, from their teachers, from random adults on the street who have an opinion. And so this is a chance for them to be the expert, to explain to the library staff how to play the game or how to get better at things. And younger kids can teach older kids. And then finally in this section is the Lego Lab, which supports collaborative and cooperative work, the basics of engineering, pattern recognition, and for some of the kids, the ability to follow directions, which cannot be underestimated as you move forward into the workforce. And just for fun, the name Lego is an abbreviation of two Danish words, leg godt, which means play well. This is what librarians are like, I tell you. And then if you can scroll through these two, I already went through them, I'm so sorry, I should have said. So last one, workforce readiness. This will finish out our sampler of offerings, and I want to emphasize that College Connect is in our space. It's another department, but people assume it belongs to the library because it's at the library. So I will highlight what they do, but I won't go into great detail. So our first one here. Our teen volunteer program is extremely robust. We have a teen services specialist who started her library career as a teen volunteer, and it shows in the way that she works with our teen community. And so she's carried that love forward into creating that experience, and we encourage the teens to volunteer in ways that are meaningful to them. Some help with program preparation, some help with support for the little ones, some lead programming they're interested in, some provide service with the collection. Our teen staff are kind of willing to get that customized experience for each volunteer. We have a young woman who has been volunteering with us for years now, and as she develops, she has decided she wants to get a library degree, so she will shadow programming, or she'll come to a staff meeting and learn about what's happening, and that kind of opportunity is really invaluable. And they also tend to get hired on as part-time staff. Alex Chin started as a library volunteer, so he gets around. And as you might know, summer reading is a huge program in libraries every year, and during the month of June, we had 50 teen volunteers supporting our sign-up and programming with a 528 hours of service in June. So huge number of teens spending time in the library by choice. And that, for me, is really exciting. And they also partner with the citywide volunteer programming and offer opportunities for teens outside the library. So the next one, Rocket Languages. Free language learning service with 14 different languages offered, including both English and English for Spanish speakers, which is a big need in the state of Arizona. Modules are interactive with visuals and audio and include language and culture sections that help people get familiar with the culture that surrounds the language that they're learning. So I messed around with it a little bit just to kind of feel it out and see what the language is like. And it's really interesting and immersive. And it's not just you're going to learn some stock phrases and best of luck using those when you get wherever you're going. But there's a survival kit as well. So phrases for things like meals, days and times, and life in the city. You get to see it, say it, write it, get feedback on your pronunciation, which can be crucial when you're asking for something that you need. And then you can use it at your own speed and as often as you like. And then the next one, I'll just touch on the college and career section since, like I said, I'm not the expert. We have education, career, and family services colleagues who are. But we have a public-facing college and career center on our main floor where College Connect is operated, and Carter Ellis from Arizona at Work has his office. If you have not yet encountered Carter, I strongly recommend taking some time. He meets folks at any stage in their job search and connects them with resources and opportunities, helps with resumes, offers interview practice, and more than that. We're able to get the folks onto the public computers with their library card so they can take the time they need to develop resumes, sign up for an email address, fill out online applications, whatever else it is they need, they can do it at the library. And the last one, we have BrainFuse, round 2. So BrainFuse is not just one-on-one tutoring for young folks. It is also job support. So Carter is just one man in one place at a time. But BrainFuse is always available. So you can get, like the free online tutoring, you can get free one-on-one job coaching. There are resume templates. You can get live resume coaching, job skills matching, job finding resources, skills training, and more. You can use this at the library. You can use this from home. Again, all of these resources are free. So to close out, 2 of my 3 goals for Tempe Public Library is to have a library card in every resident's hand, and to be the first place our community thinks of when they have a question or they need an answer. So these are genuinely just highlights of some of the resources that we have that I thought would be really interesting for this committee, supporting education, youth development, and workforce readiness. And we have even more than that, so stop by the library. And thank you so much for letting me present. And I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Yes, I do have a couple. And thank you. Your presentation was phenomenal. I've grew up going to that library. That was my library from a child. I remember starting kindergarten, and that was the first place I went to, was the Tempe Library too, for a field trip. So
I love it.
I'm excited to be a part of helping it continue and to grow. What my question is on all of it, how does the community get involved in the library skills? I know that you have a rebus for the teenagers, but there's a lot of seniors, there's a lot of people who just want to get involved. And how do they get involved, and what avenues would they need? Is there, because I know in the schools they have to be fingerprinted. Is it fingerprinting in the library? So what is the process? So if anybody's listening who wants to get involved and volunteer, how can they do that?
We have on our library website a contact us form. If they fill that out and connect with us, they can get involved, and we can find what volunteer opportunities. Most of our volunteer opportunities for adults are things like shelving or shelf cleaning. We have a lot of volunteer programmers who come in and do guest programs. Dr. Dwayne Rowan is an amazing programmer who offers a ton of writing programs for us. But if you have a skill or you have an interest, let us know, and we'll find a way to make it happen in the library, because that's our greatest joy. But we don't require fingerprinting because we don't have any volunteer adults working with children at this time.
All right, so if they wanted to come in and read, is that something they can do too? Because I know a lot of retired teachers, they talk about coming in and volunteering, reading and doing that. So is that something I can put on the website for my retired, because I do work with my retired teachers in my district, and I would like to put out there that we do have opportunities for them to do things at the library. Is that okay?
Absolutely. You can share that there are opportunities, and also maybe nudge them toward Experience Corps if they're looking to read with kids, because that is super valuable and really exciting. But we're always looking for new ways to connect with our community. In a previous library system, we did something called Grandparents in Books, where there would be older adults who'd be willing to be read to by kids that they did have to be fingerprinted for, and have the opportunity, just like we do Read to a Dog. It's somebody who's not going to judge you for your reading skills. And so having that opportunity with an older adult, or in some cases a dog, is a really, really fun way for people to connect and kids to get comfortable.
My second thing is, how do you advertise? And it's a two-part to that. So how do you advertise? Because there's so many great opportunities, and a lot of people haven't heard of it. So I know that if they don't go on the website, there's people who don't go on the website. Is there any other way we can advertise? And as council members, as myself and Councilmember Keating, how can we help to promote?
That is an excellent question, Councilmember Hodge. And one of the biggest challenges we have in the library, like I keep emphasizing, this is just a sampling of what we offer. So how do you offer sips from a fire hose? Because when it comes to the library, we want to blow everybody out of the water with all the things we have, but that can be really overwhelming. So we have flyers that we post in public places. We go out and do outreach, and 2023 is really going to be our year of community connection. So you're not going to be able to avoid the library in the coming year. We're going to be out everywhere at every event that we can get to, but making sure that people know, because it is that referral, like you're saying. It is that specific promotion to say, oh, well, you might like this one thing specifically, and then going from there. We have that entry point into the library that then gets people excited about what we have.
Are you working with the schools to give kindergartners their library cards, or first graders? What year are you doing in schools that, like, is it a year that all first graders are getting a card, or all kindergartners? Is it a program going on like that? Is it something that we can help you with to get a program like that?
There isn't yet, but it is absolutely a desire. It's something that I did with Sacramento Public, where we got all first graders a card, because one of the goals, the council priorities, is to get everybody reading a grade level by third grade. So if you can get a library card a couple years before that so that you have that access to additional materials and resources and things like that. So any suggestions you have there, council member, I'm on board because I want to get in on it.
I do have several suggestions, so we'll have to meet at a different time and talk about them because I do have a strong connection in the schools, both Kyrene, Tempe L, and Tempe Union, and would love to get that program started and something we can continue on. It's something that will work, that these kids know in first grade.
Right.
They will get a card.
Right.
So,
and make it sustainable. Because that opportunity to, especially because we have the art cards right now, to pick something that they want that is theirs, that they can check out these items and take them home. Or if their parents aren't comfortable with physical materials, you can download ebooks and read them that way. Ebooks can't get damaged. Ebooks, the library version, don't get dropped in the bath. If you drop your iPad in the bath, that's on you, but it doesn't damage the book. And since the library went fine-free, we don't worry about things being out too long.
Yeah, that is great. And you know what? That's something that they don't know. So maybe you should say that a little bit louder, that there is fine-free. Because I remember when I was a kid, forgetting my library book and having to pay that little bit. It was a small fine, but it was still a fine that I had to go in my piggy bank and pay for.
Yep. And there's a lot of shame. Most people have a shame story about when they were a kid and they lost a book and either the librarian shamed them or their parents shamed them or somebody did. We do not charge fines. As of February 14th of this year, Valentine to our community, we stopped charging late fines. If you take something and never return it, we're going to ask you to pay for the item. But if you keep it, it falls under the couch, your kid stashes it under their bed because they love it so much, you're not going to get in trouble for that. Just bring it back.
Oh, that sounds so great. Thank you. I have one last question about the coding club. What ages are you looking for in that part? Or is it more geared towards middle school, high school? Or is it more geared towards high school?
That one is kind of all the school age. So it's 7 or 8 to about 16 based on their interest.
Okay, I didn't realize. So when they're that young, 7, 8, what kind of things can they do at that age versus the 16-year-olds? I get that when it comes to coding, but what do you guys do with the 7th and, the 7-year-olds and 8-year-olds at that level?
An 8-year-old can program that robot, that Sphero robot, because it's very straightforward. Using the website, it can do like a forward, side, back. It can do words, things like that. So they can understand kind of how, if you put something in a sequence, it's going to work. And then they get that opportunity for trial and error. So if you code the robot and you want it to go somewhere and it doesn't, you get to look back and say, okay, what did I do? How can I change that? Like, I wanted it to go all the way forward and right, but I accidentally put backward in there and that's what happened and where it went. So there are options for everyone. And, age doesn't necessarily determine skill at coding.
That is true. That is so true. It doesn't. So that's another thing we can work with our schools, because I know that several of our school districts have like coding classes, and that would be working perfectly to fit together. So that'll be another offset conversation we can have a little bit later. Councilmember Keene, do you have any questions? Because I'm asking all of them. I apologize.
No, you're good. I actually don't have any questions. Thank you very much for the presentation and the great work that you and everyone is doing at the Tempe Library.
Thank you, council member. Yeah, we have an amazing team, and I have almost reached 1 year with the library. So,
can you tell me how many people you have in your team?
54 are on the email group.
Wow.
Including like our part-time shelvers all the way up through my position.
Wow. Well, that's something I didn't know. My gosh, that's
a lot of people working to make the library amazing.
Okay, well, thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
All right. So we have a little bit of a moment because our next presenter hasn't made it through the door yet. So we're going to just wait a little bit. That's why. If there's anything else you want to add, Jessica, you have the time.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. We would love to hear more from you.
Well, I'm here. Tempe Public Library, starting in 2023, that is the next year, is going to have 6 book clubs. 6 different book clubs. So we have our great books, which reads classics. We have mystery, which is pretty self-explanatory. We have coffee, tea, and books, who read popular fiction. We are going to be adding a horror book club for people who enjoy reading something scary, where you can't turn off the lights. If you've never read Stephen Graham Jones's The Only Good Indians, that will scare the bejeebers out of you. We have the Friends of Dorothy Book Club that meets at Brick Road Coffee on the second Tuesdays of the month and reads LGBTQ plus books. And then we're going to be adding one called Found in Translation with a local ASU professor, Keith Brown. He works in the Eastern European Studies area, and he's going to be doing a book club where they talk about the value of translated literature, because with translations, there are two authors. There's the original author, and there's the translator. And do they translate literally, or do they translate the meaning of the word? So having conversations about that. But we're always looking to add new book clubs. So if there's something that you guys would like to see happen.
Is it the book club like monthly? Like there's going to be a different one each month?
Yep.
So if you actually give me the information, I can highlight each book club in my monthly my monthly newsletter.
You got it.
So that would be great to have
it
your
your
little
way.
section that I can just say this is what the news is meeting this month.
Yeah, I would love that. And then we're also, our writing contest, our annual writing contest is getting ready to launch. And so we publish a book every year from local authors. We have high school, college, and adult level. And we do fiction, nonfiction, and poetry. So if you know writers who are interested in getting involved, we can absolutely get them involved. And then 2024 will be our 10th anniversary. So we're looking to do something good with that as well. And that's in partnership with ASU as well.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. More reading, more writing. That's the library.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Look like we still don't have him yet.
I've emailed him, I've called him, he said he was gonna be here by now, I don't know what else. If you'd like me to contact him again, or?
Should we just?
Randy, should we push it to our next meeting, or should we just wait a few more minutes?
It doesn't matter to me. I'm fine with waiting a little bit, or
I am too. So
Let's take a 5-minute recess. My apologies, Councilmember Keating and Councilmember.
or what we can do is we can go to we can go to our next thing. We can jump over to. We can come back to that part and go to the new items for consideration. We could just save him for last. So, do we have any items for consideration? I know I have a couple. Do you have any, Randy? Councilmember
I don't
Keating?
have any.
I have a couple that I want to consider. Since with Jessica's beautiful presentation coming up with the library, I would love to bring the superintendents back again, because we were going to have them at the beginning of the year, but things got kind of busy, and let them give us an idea of what's going on, from K through 12th grade. And even maybe Jessica, you can come back in and have that. You can be there for that conversation. But I would love to bring them back to our next meeting.
Sure.
Yeah, that's going to take up some time, because each district has their own unique community that they have to educate. So it'd be great for us as council members to hear what is their, what's going on in their community, what we can help with, what we can partner with the city, and just get a post check on how it'll be half point for that semester. So how does that sound to you, Councilmember Keaton?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. So I guess our next one will be about bringing back our superintendents. Yeah. And what is next? Oh, do you have any announcements? Do you have any announcements, Councilmember Keaton?
Only that Wednesday is my dog Cersei's 7th birthday.
Oh my gosh,
Can't believe
Cersei's 7 already?
gotten
Are you?
old.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I remember the day you got her. Oh wow. Time is flying. Mine is that I have my next Breakfast with Burdetta December 3rd at 10 a.m. at the library. So it'd be with Jessica. Woohoo. So anybody would like to come and be educated on safety, public safety, emotional safety, everything. So it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a great panel of people. So I think,
Good.
yeah. So we can wait a few more minutes. Yeah, we can. So I guess our next meeting date is slated. Are we going to do December 26th? Because that's the day after Christmas. I don't think that's going to be, huh?
Yeah, I'd rather not.
I'd rather just wait till January to start back up
Yeah.
again. Give the
Yeah.
month of December off.
Yeah.
So we can do what day is the third? Let me look at my calendar. We can look at it right now and see when the next third Monday is.
Looks like January 30th.
That sounds. That's the last Monday. So that sounds good to me. Yeah. So we usually do it on the fourth Monday. Do you want to do it on the fourth Monday, or you want to do it on the last Monday?
I say this is the last Monday.
Okay. Well, we can do January 30th. That'll be our next meeting, January 30th.
Okay.
We
So,
typically
let's
adjourn,
just,
but we're
we can always have the chamber just reschedule. I guess they must have gotten their wires crossed at some point.
yeah. So
I know one of them has childcare obligations this afternoon. So
okay.
I believe that's where they are.
So we can actually push the chamber one to the January 30th along with our superintendents. It'll be a nice full pack one for January.
All right.
Okay, I guess that is there's no other questions. Thank you for your presentation. You did a phenomenal job today, and I move to adjourn.
Righty. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, thank you. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye bye.